Hello guys, welcome to the part 2 of FMT marathon and RR session. So we'll start with the forensic ballistics. Forensic ballistics is basically study of firearms and projectiles and effect arising from them. So you study about guns, about the bullets and the wounds which are produced by the bullet. So we divide the ballistics into 4 types: proximal, intermediate, terminal and wound. I classify into one group. Okay. Proximal means study of firearms, basically from which the bullet is fired. The firearm, the revolver, the pistol, the rifle, anything. Proximal ballistics. Or internal ballistics. Intermediate means the external ballistics, movement of the bullet. This bullet will be moving, right? Bullet will be moving. If it is rotating or if it is going straight, the movement of the bullet. Okay, bullet can be there. There can be lead shots also. Anything which is the projectile, call it projectile. Rather than bullet, you call this projectile. So movement of projectile is basically intermediate, and it is striking a target. This is called as terminal ballistics. The target striking is called terminal ballistics, and if it is penetrate the tissues, then it is called as wound ballistics. Okay, and this tissue penetration is called wound ballistics. So terminal ballistics, wound ballistics. Terminal ballistics means penetrating the target. Wound ballistics means penetrating living tissue. Same thing. Okay. So some books classify into 3 types: proximal, intermediate and terminal or wound. Or it classifies 4 types: proximal, intermediate, terminal, wound. Okay. So it is the study of effects of the bullet. Terminal or wound is the study of effects of the bullet. So you have to read all: firearms, movement and the effects. Let's talk about the basic skeleton of the gun. Okay. It's a very interesting topic. It's my personal favorite topic. Basic skeleton of a gun. 3 parts basically: a handle or stock, which you hold. This is the breech. Okay, you must have seen some people fold this gun like this. Okay, open the breech and load the bullets. So we can have either breech loading or we can have either muzzle loading. Okay, either bullet can be loaded by this or by this. Okay, so this is the breech. This is the breech end because it is the end of the breech, and this is the barrel. And this is the muzzle end. Calvin Goddard is the father of forensic ballistics. BCG, you can remember BCG ballistics. Calvin Goddard. 3 important parts: breech, barrel, stock. I told you this: breech, barrel and stock. I called it handle or support. Barrel, the inner diameter of the barrel is called bore. So what is bore? Bore is basically inner diameter. If you're seeing the barrel, there must be a diameter of the barrel. Okay, if you make a cut section, this will be the bore. I will talk more about the bore. Guns can be single barrel, double barrel, triple barrel, multiple barrel. Look at this. This is a double barrel gun. Okay, single, double, triple, multiple. You must have seen in your games also, PUBG. It has 2 ends: breech end and muzzle end. Cut section of the breech end. Let's look at the cut section of the breech end. Okay, this is the cut section of the breech end. Let me draw it for you. If you are making seeing it very complicated, look at this. This is the barrel. This is the, for example, the barrel. There will be a box like this, which is the cartridge. This is the cartridge, and connected to it will be a tubing like this. So I have just cut the barrel and seeing the cross section basically. Okay, this, and here we have something like this. This are called the groovings or riflings. And basically there is a percussion pin here. PP I am writing percussion pin. Okay, this is the percussion pin. Here we have plates like this, which is called the breech plate. And here we have another thing like this. This is the percussion cap. Okay, and there is a hammer here like this. There is just something structure like this. This is called as the hammer, and this hammer is connected to the trigger. So whenever you press the trigger, this hammer moves up, it strikes the percussion pin. Basically strikes the primer end of the bullet. There is a primer end of the bullet. Okay, due to the bullet blasts, and there is a force, and this groovings basically increase the speed of the bullet. So this is in in short the working of the gun. Okay, so muzzle loading and breech loading, I told you how a gun works. Look at this animation. So I put an animation for you. Let's play it if I can. Okay, look at this. Look at this. The cartridges are going here. The cartridges are being loaded over here. The bullet is coming up. It is moving. The percussion and the handle is basically moving up. Okay, the hammer. The percussion pin is striking. This is the percussion pin which is strike. Yes, and the bullet is released. And again loads back. Again next cartridge. Again it strikes. Okay, easy. Yes. Now let's continue our topic. Basically guns may be single loading or repetitive loading. I told you single loading, repetitive loading. Repetitive loading like pistol, rifle, all of this. You must have seen a revolver. Okay, it has 6 bullets like this, and one after another the bullets are loaded automatically. Repetitive loading. Classification of firearms, two broad categories. Just focus, two broad categories based on inner surface of barrel. Okay, you can have either rifles or a smooth bore gun. So rifles basically have riflings. These are the riflings. The spiral groove are there, which are called riflings. 2 to 20 riflings are there in a rifle. In a rifled gun, we'll use bullets. Okay, whenever you tell bullet, you call it bullet or lead. This means you are firing from a rifle. Helixometer is a device used to examine the inner surface of the barrel. To examine the inner surface, we use helixometer. And again, the second category, smooth bored gun or scatter gun or pepper gun or shotgun. So scattering is there. What scattering? Lead shots. So basically there are multiple bullets here. We use lead shots or lead pellets. So basically lead shots or lead pellets. Look at this like this. And these are from smooth bored gun. Smooth bored gun is also called as scatter gun, pepper gun or shotgun. Okay. And how you cut this groovings in a rifle gun? Groovings are only present in a rifle gun, not in a smooth bore gun. In a smooth is completely smooth. How you cut this? By broach cutter or hook cutter. Okay, broach cutter or hook cutter. Understood? And riflings, there is an angle of turning, right? There is an angle of turning. This angle is called pitch. Okay, understood? Purpose of rifling. What is the purpose of rifling? It will spin the bullet when it is coming out. Okay, it is helping in spinning the bullet. You must have read in physics that whenever something spins, the speed increases the velocity. It will increase the range. It will give a stability to the bullet. Okay, it is basically having a hygroscopic stability to the bullet, which gives more fatality. It checks wobblings. Okay, wobblings means the bullet is stable now. It won't tumble like this here and there. It will give a streamlined support. And gyroscopic stability, I told you gyroscopic stability is basically the rotation stability. Whenever something rotates, it is more stable, right? This is called gyroscopic stability. So these are the advantages of riflings. Okay, shotgun, you use lead shots like this. These are the lead shots like this. These lead shots basically disperse. Okay, multiple shots are fired at one go, so they have the tendency for dispersion. Spreading of lead shots will occur, which will decrease the range. Okay, the spreading of lead shots will decrease the range. So what we can do to improve the range? We can do choking. To improve range, we can do choking. What is choking? Choking is basically whenever you bring a gun here like this. Let's say this is the gun, this is the opening. So from inside, you just make it narrow by some material, by metals. You can make it narrow, so that if it is made narrow, then the lead shots will travel in a streamlined direction. The range will improve. This part is called as choking. This is called as choking. Okay, so choking is there, and this is done for increasing the range of the barrel. Okay, narrowing the barrel, decrease dispersion, increase range. Choking. Muzzle end is constricted. We can have, based on choking, many types of guns. One is called as the unchoked gun. One is called improved cylinder, modified cylinder, and fully choked. Unchoked, improved cylinder, modified cylinder, fully choked. Unchoked gun, basically cylinder bore is there, so maximum dispersion, least range. More dispersion will be there and the range will decrease. This is the unchoked, no choking at all. Improved cylinder, less choking. Modified cylinders, more choking than improved cylinder. And fully choked is the very narrow lumen, least dispersion. It will be streamlined and range will improve, right? So look at this cylinder bore, no choking at all, no choking. Improved cylinder, some choking. Modified choke, more choking. Fully choked, very narrow lumen. You can see very narrow lumen. Okay, so let's look at the examples of rifled gun and shotgun. Which gun will classify as rifle, which will classify as shotgun. So rifled guns you can remember by RPM, revolver, pistol, military rifle. Revolver, pistol, military rifle, any other type of rifles, military rifle, 0.22 rifle, automatic pistols, okay, pistols, automatic pistols, revolvers, military rifles, all are rifled guns. Okay, shotgun, it has less range than rifle gun. Rifle gun, basically the revolver has a range of 200 yards, pistol has a range of 400 yards, and military rifle has very high range, 2000 yards. And as compared to shotgun is a smaller range, 50 to 60 yards. Rifled gun about 4 times more range, 200, 300, 400, okay, 2000. Military rifle 2000, and increase range. So what are the examples of shotgun? Cylinder bore gun, choke bore gun, paradox guns. What are paradox guns? Paradox guns are basically, you don't have riflings here. This is a shotgun, don't have riflings here, no riflings at all. But at the terminal part there is rifling. There's a rifling at terminal end. Okay, so bullet will be normal here, but here there will be rifling, so the bullet will accelerate. Paradox guns, terminal rifling. Breech loader, muzzle loader, country made guns, all of these are shotgun. Okay, guns based on action. On base of action you can have lever action, bolt action, pump action. Okay, lever, bolt, pump, this is the action of gun. You don't need to study this because it is not relevant as per your forensic forensic ballistics is concerned. Okay, another thing is air gun. What is an air gun? 40 yards is the range of air gun. This is the range. Here there is air compression. The bullet goes by air compression. So there is no tattooing, no blackening, no singeing. Singeing is basically burning. Okay, I will talk all of this in detail when I discuss the tissue effects of the gun. So there is no tattooing, no blackening, no singeing. Let's look at the cross section of a rifle gun and a shotgun. So rifle gun, look at this. Let me draw it for you because you must be finding it complicated to look at this diagram. This is the cross section. Here you have like this. Let's draw it. You can see some protruded regions like this. And this protruded lesions are called as land. You must have heard about pahad pani. So land is basically pahad is basically the land area, right? So protruded area is land, and this less protruded area is groove. This is the groove, less protruded. Distance between distance between opposite lands. Distance between two opposite lands is basically what is called as caliber. So you must have heard people saying that this caliber of gun I have, this caliber, that caliber. So caliber is the distance between two opposite lands. Okay, caliber. Let's move on to the shotgun. So shotgun, here we use caliber, here we use bore. It's the bore. This part is the diameter of the shotgun is the bore. This is a smooth barrel gun, shotgun. What is a bore? Bore is basically, let's say we talk a 12 bore or 12 gauge gun. 12 bore or 12 gauge. We call this gauge also. 12 bore or gauge. Gun whose diameter is that of a ball of lead of such a size that 10, this is 12, okay. 12 balls may be made from 454 gram. Understand this thing. You placed 1 pound of lead. 1 pound of lead in the gun diameter. 1 pound means 454 gram. How many number of balls can be made out of that? How many number of balls that can be made out of that is basically the bore of the gun. Let's say you can make from this 10 balls which would fit this barrel. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is fitting the barrel. 10 balls. So this is a 10 gauge or 10 bore gun. 10 gauge or 10 bore gun. Let's say you can fit 12 balls. You can make 12 balls and fit here. So it is a 12 gauge or 12 bore gun. Understood? Clear? Okay. As the gauge increases, as the gauge or bore increases, the diameter is basically decreasing. You can see. Okay. More gauge, less diameter. So 18 gauge has more diameter than 24 gauge. Let's move on to the cartridge, the projectiles. Okay, projectiles. So basically what is there in a bullet? Okay, bullet. So look at this. First one we'll discuss shotgun cartridge, then we'll discuss the rifle gun cartridge. Okay, this is cartridge. Cartridge means the bullet covering with case. This is the cartridge. Okay. Then we'll move to the gunpowders. Shotgun cartridge. Basically it has 3 portions. Look at this. This type of thing is there. Okay, this type of cup like thing is there. There is a small metal case. The small case is the brain. This is the brain of the cartridge. What it is called? It is called primer cup, detonator cup, or percussion cup. Primer, detonator, or percussion. It contains the primer. I will talk what is there in the primer. This is a primer. There is a metal case in the end. In the first compartment we have gunpowder. In the second compartment we have wad, W-A-D, wad, or felt or cork or plastic, whatever you tell. Wad or felt. It's a common terminology. Wad or felt. It has about 4 functions. It functions as a lubricant here. It has grease only. Okay, lubricant. It acts as a piston. It acts as a transmission force, that is piston. It causes separation. Of this lead shots from this cartridge. Separation. Okay. And it also seals the air pressure between the lead shots and the gunpowder case. Seals the air pressure, which is called obturation. Okay. And this primer cup has this primer. Primer is basically a highly inflammable material. A shock sensitive material. Okay. So whenever the percussion pin PP is basically striking air, this will explode and this lead shots will be fired. Okay, this is the mechanism. Okay, so we can have many types of lead shots. We can have soft shot, which is only of lead, soft shot or drop shot, hard shot, HRD, hard shot or chilled shot, lead plus antimony, hard or chilled, lead plus antimony. Okay, or we can have a steel shot. Steel shot is basically completely of steel. Soft, PB, hard or chilled, PB plus antimony, steel shot, complete steel. These are slugs. Slugs are basically smaller things which have a greater range. Small thing, greater range, chota packet, bada dhamaka, and groups are there. Look at this. This has groups like this for better spinning effect. Okay. So some shot ranges are there. Dust shot, bird shot, buck shot. Dust, bird, buck. Dust shot about 2000. Bird shot about 200. Buck shot about 20. So basically these are the number of lead shots. So dust shot 2000, very small lead shots 2000, bird shot about 200, buck shot about 20. Let's look at the bullet of a rifled cartridge. So it has basically, this was called bullet. There's a cannulure here. It's a depression like this called cannulure. Cannulure is basically constriction to hold the bullet. This is the bullet. Okay. And here also we have primer cup with primer. Here also we have gunpowder. And the bullet case is made up of brass. Here it was made up of, it's a metal case. Okay. And here it is brass. Okay. This is there. You can see the difference here. There's a rifle cartridge here. Okay, done. Okay, let's discuss the mechanism of firing a bit. So you know Ke equal to kinetic energy equal to half mv square. So basically the damage depends upon the velocity. Just remember this, the damage, more the velocity of bullet, more damage will be there. Energy is proportional to v square, so more injury is proportional to increased velocity. So velocity proportional to kinetic energy proportional to injury. Bullets are picked by gloved hands to prevent artifact. Okay, let's talk about gunpowders. Talking about gunpowders, we have three type of gunpowders. Black gunpowder, first one. Smokeless gunpowder, second one. Semi-smokeless, third one. Black smokeless, semi-smokeless. Black, designated as FG, FFG, FFFG. So you can designate the gunpowder on FG, FFFG and FFFFG. More the F, finer the grain, faster burning. So more the F means fine. So finer, grains, more burning. Okay. So basically, you can remember the composition by Preeti can sing. P, potassium nitrate, charcoal and sulfur. PCS, potassium nitrate, charcoal and sulfur. Potassium nitrate 75%, charcoal 15, sulfur 10. Okay. K plus nitrate, potassium nitrate, charcoal and sulfur. Potassium nitrate 75%, charcoal 15%, sulfur 10%. Okay. Increase smoke, less power. More smoky it is more smoky and less power. This was the oldest one, right? It was the first one to be developed, the oldest one. Not much that 1 gram is producing 3000 to 4000 cc gas. Oldest one. Smokeless gunpowder, basically it is smokeless, comparatively less smoke but more power. It is better. Okay, more smoke, so less smoke, more power. 1 gram can produce 12,000 to 13,000 cc gas. Here it was producing 3000 to 4000 cc gas only. 3000 to 4000 cc. Here it is producing 12,000 to 13,000 cc gas. So what it contains? Nitrocellulose, nitroglycerin, nitroguanidine. Nitrocellulose, nitroglycerin, nitroguanidine. Nitrocellulose only if it is containing three types it has. If it is containing only nitrocellulose, I am writing NC. Then single base gunpowder, single base smokeless gunpowder. If it is having nitrocellulose plus nitroglycerin, nitrocellulose plus nitroglycerin, it is called double base gunpowder. If it is containing nitrocellulose plus nitroglycerin plus nitroguanidine, it is called triple base gunpowder. NC, NGL, NGU. Okay. Then semi smokeless gunpowder. This was the recent one, the recent gunpowder. It can have black or smokeless, mixture of black plus smokeless. So semi-smokeless is black and smokeless. Black is 80%, smokeless is basically 20% in composition. So black gunpowder, Preeti can sing. PCS, potassium nitrate, charcoal, sulfur. Smokeless gunpowder, nitrocellulose, nitroglycerin, nitroguanidine. Okay. FFFF, you know all the formulas of F. Increase F, increase fineness. Increase F, increase fineness, increase burning, increase power. Okay. Primer. I told you that there is a primer to blast the gunpowder. It is impact sensitive or it is shock sensitive. You can say shock sensitive. Constituents of primer: blast. You can remember by blast. Barium nitrate, lead peroxide, antimony, stiffnate, then tetrazine. Okay, you can remember barium nitrate and lead peroxide, antimony, stiffnate, and tetrazine. Okay. So what is the mechanism of action? I told you earlier. Trigger pulled, hammer moves up, firing pin moves forward, that the percussion pin strikes the percussion cup. This primer explodes, it detonates the gunpowder and bullet come out. Okay, when it explodes, bullet come out. Let's move on to the types of bullet. Non-jacketed bullet. Non-jacketed bullet is basically only lead core is there. This is made up of PB. only lead core. Easily deformed because if you heat it, there's more heat, then it can melt and damage the barrel. It can damage the barrel due to melting of lead. This is a coated, jacketed bullet, fully jacketed. Copper and nickel is coated. Okay, so basically you have a lead core PB and a coating of copper or nickel. It's maximum penetration. Semi-jacketed, what is semi-jacketed? It's called dum-dum bullet. Dum-dum. So basically coating is there only a terminal portion. It can deform easily. This portion will not be deformed. Which portion will be deformed? This portion will be deformed like this. It will spread like this. This is called mushrooming. It's called mushrooming. Deform on impact, it's called mushrooming of bullet. Seen in dum-dum bullet. Hollow point bullet is there. This is a hollow point bullet. This type of deformity is created over here. Hollow point. Deforms on impact. This is a frangible bullet. Frangible bullet. Frangible bullet means it is made up of iron, powdered iron. So it basically fragmented on impact. Okay, when you fire it, it will break into pieces when it impacts. Frangible bullet. Frangible means fragile type of thing. Then sixth is the tracer bullet. This is a tracer bullet. There is a radium here. There is a radium or some luminescent material here. Just a minute. What I did. Okay. Tracer bullet. So basically there is a luminous material over here like this, and it helps to trace the direction of bullet. There is an incendiary bullet. Incendiary means it will catch fire. So phosphorus is present. Phosphorus is present on the tips of matchsticks. So it likes that. A bullet and some phosphorus on the top catches fire on impact. Explosive bullet explodes on impact. Plastic bullet or baton bullet. Basically this is the PVC, made up of plastic or PVC for riot control. Whenever there is a common people or a hunger strike or something demanding, okay, they need to be controlled, they get out of control, you can't just fire some real bullets, right? So you have to use plastic bullets so that there will be minimal injury and people will be frightened, so because firing is going on. So for riot control, plastic bullet or baton bullet is used. Poisoned bullet not used nowadays. Curare or some other poisons are there. Okay, this is used in hunting but not for humans, right? Okay. Tandem cartridge or duplex cartridge. What is tandem cartridge or duplex cartridge? Here in a same cartridge, two bullets are loaded. Two bullets are there in tail to tail is the head. Okay. Two bullets lodged tail to tail. Okay. In a single cartridge. So when first bullet is fired, the second bullet follows the first bullet like this. So it is also called as tandem cartridge or duplex cartridge, or this is also called as piggyback bullet. Okay, tandem cartridge, duplex cartridge or piggyback bullet. Understood? So that completes our proximal ballistics. Let's move on to the intermediate as well as terminal ballistics. Let's discuss the intermediate and terminal ballistics, discharge and effects. So whenever there is a bullet fired, we have flame, we have some smoke, we have some gunpowder, we have the bullet. So what effects it is producing on our body? Flame is producing burn, charring and singeing of hair. Singeing means due to burning, the hair basically curls. Curling of hair due to burning. Burns, charring or singeing of hair. Smoke is black color, so it is causing blackening or smudging of skin. Smoke is causing blackening or smudging of skin. Then we have unburnt gunpowder. This will be embedded in layers in the tissue, deep in the tissue. It will be embedded like this and will cause tattooing, stippling or peppering. You have to remember this terminology. Flame is causing burns, charring, singeing. Smoke is causing blackening, smudging, Unburnt gunpowder is embedded in tissues causing tattooing, stippling or peppering. To differentiate between blackening and tattooing, just wipe with a wet cloth. If you can wipe, smoke will go out. Smoke will go out. It will be washed away by wiping. But tattooing remains because it is embedded deep, right? You can't wipe the tattoo. So this blackening only happens in the epidermal region. Tattooing is deeper. Okay, it may extend to dermis. So you can't just wipe a tattoo. Bullet produces a punctured wound and two collars. What are collars? Collars means if this is the wound, there is a outer lining. This is a collar and this is another collar. Two collars it is producing. One is called the grease collar, dirt collar, bullet wipe. Grease, dirt, bullet wipe. Grease collar. And second one is the abrasion collar. Abrasion collar. Okay. Grease collar, when a gun is, the inside of gun is always greased. This is grease. This is greased. This is greased. So whenever a bullet is fired, it brings some grease along with it. Bullet brings some grease along with it. It will bring some grease along with it. It will be deposited in circular format when it enters the skin. So this collar due to grease. Okay, this one is the grease collar. The bullet will spin and produce friction, and due to this friction an abrasion collar will be there. Okay, it is usually on the entry wound because there is more spinning on entry wound. It is not much in exit wound. If the person is along a wire, along a wall, then it can be having an exit wound if it is attached to a surface. If he or she is attached to a surface, then only there will be abrasion collar. Okay, in both wounds, in exit wound also, but it is usually on the entry wound. Just remember this. So this is the abrasion collar. So grease collar and abrasion collar are two collars produced due to bullet. Deposition of grease in margin of wound is called grease collar, bullet wipe or dirt collar. Due to spinning bullet, deposition like this. So this is a puncture wound, PW. This is a grease collar and this one is the abrasion collar. Okay. Abrasion collar is due to spinning or gyroscopic action of bullet. Due to spinning effect of bullet, abrasion collar is produced. It is absent on yielding surfaces. Let's say on abdomen, on buttocks, all of this has high fat. Okay, these are called yielding surfaces. There is not much spinning here. So abrasion collar is absent on yielding surfaces. Grease collar is diagnostic of entry wound. Abrasion collar is usually present in entry wound, but which is a diagnostic? Grease collar. Okay, look at this. A bullet penetrates perpendicular. There is grease and abrasion concentrically. Bullet penetrates, tangentially. So this is the direction of the abrasion collar. So shape of abrasion collar can give an idea of the trajectory of the bullet. So forensic experts use this knowledge to determine, by looking at the wound, they determine which angle must be the correct angle to shoot, commit the crime. Okay. Traveling distance. How much distance does this particles travel? Flame only goes for rifle 8 cm, shotgun 15 cm. You can remember 7 cm for your own, not 7, you can just remember 7.5. So you can multiply by 2 and get 15. Smoke 15 cm into 2, 30 cm for shotgun. So you can see it's mostly double. Gunpowder same, 60 to 90, 60 to 90. And WAD 2 meter only it can produce minor bruise. Okay, it can't cause much damage. So grease collar you can see here in the picture, grease collar, dirt collar inside and abrasion collar outside. Okay, and you can see here blackening and tattooing also. This black particles of smoke, okay, blackening, and this one deposited inside the tissues, tattooing. Let's discuss about the wounds now. How many shot are there? So we'll discuss from rifle gun wound and then we'll move on to the next and determine the exit and entry wound, and after that we'll use some atypical wounds. We'll discuss atypical bullet injuries. Okay, and after that it will be done. This chapter will be done. Okay, let's go step by step. Okay, starting with, this is the gun. You fire. So whenever the flame is traveling, how much distance for rifle gun? Look at this, 8 centimeter only. So 8 centimeter. Flame travels up to 8 centimeter. So any shot in this region is contact shot. Gun held in tight contact with the skin. Let's say this is the face of the person and gun is held over here. This is a contact shot. At the junction of flame and smoke, it's the close shot. Person lies within the range of flame. Person is within the range of flame and some overlap with the smoke. This is a close shot. The terminal portion of flame. So there will be more burning where? Flame causes burning, singeing of hair, right? So more burning will be at contact shot only. Okay. Smoke is traveling a bit farther distance. How much distance? Look at this. 15 centimeter for rifle, 30 for shotgun. So 15 centimeter, this will be 15 centimeter. So if the person is in near shot, this is a near shot, near range. Near shot means person lies outside flame. Flame is ended over here. But within the smoke. Person is within the smoke. Okay. This is a near shot. And here up to here only gunpowder transverses, that is 60 to 90 centimeter. Okay. So this here is the intermediate shot. This is the distant. Intermediate shot means outside smoke. Person is outside the smoke. Range. But inside the gunpowder. This is the gunpowder. Person is inside the gunpowder range. And this is the distant shot. Person lies outside gunpowder also. Okay, so person suffers not much. So distantly, some gunpowder particles may strike. And wound is somewhat like that, irregular, right? So this is a distant shot, outside the gunpowder range. So within tight contact shot. Within flame range, close shot. Within smoke range, near shot. Within gunpowder range, intermediate shot. Outside gunpowder range, distant shot. Understood? Let's talk one by one from close shot. What is close shot? If you can have three possibilities. A, if the gun, there is no gap between skin and muzzle. This is the skin of the person and this is the muzzle of the gun. There is no gap at all. So there will be like this only a recoil abrasion. Only a recoil abrasion will be produced. Okay, not much. This puncture wound will be produced. Okay. Very small gap, loose contact. This is a very tight contact. Only one circular wound. So it will allow a smoke to escape a bit. Here there was no smoke, no dust color or no grease color, no abrasion color. Here puncture wound plus a corona will be produced. Corona. The smoke, when it goes, it can produce somewhat like this corona. Okay. Then third possibility, if it is next to the skull. If the gun is pointed at the forehead of the person. Okay, I will blow your head. Then the skull is there. So this skull will give a resistance, and this resistance basically breaks the tissues. This resistance ruptures the tissues and the skin and comes out. So skin splits. This is called cruciate splitting or stellate wound. So close shot, you have to remember, either we can have a complete circular wound with recoil abrasion. You can have a very small gap, loose contact, then you can have corona. And skull vault is skull pointing. So you can have cruciate splitting or stellate wound. Close shot. Contact shot is done, close shot. Here there will be a puncture wound, abrasion color and grease color, burns, blackening, tattooing, everything. Okay, everything. Burns, blackening, tattooing, abrasion color, grease color, puncture wound, everything will be produced over here. Near shot means, look at this. If you understood this diagram, then you can very well predict the effects. Near shot means outside flame, within smoke. Okay, flame will not be there. So no flame, no burning, only puncture wound will be there. abrasion color will be there, grease color will be there, blackening will be there, tattooing will be there, but burning won't be there. Why these all will be produced? Because of smoke. Smoke will be there, right? Person is within the smoke range. So wound will appear like this. Intermediate shot. No effect of gun, smoke or gunpowder. No effect at all. Only bullet hole with two colors. Okay. Intermediate shot means, and tattooing will be present, of course. Tattooing, because person is in gunpowder range. This gunpowder was producing tattooing, right? Tattooing. So intermediate shot, the person is, this all won't be produced. No flame effect, no burning, no blackening, no singeing all at all. Only there will be tattooing, because only gunpowder range is there. So only there will be tattooing. And collars, of course, collars will be produced. Okay. Tattooing will be there and collars will be produced. Distant shot, entry wound, abrasion color, grease color. No effect at all. No effect, no burning, no tattooing, no blackening, no singeing, nothing. Only entry wound, abrasion color and grease color. Entry wound, abrasion color and grease color. Okay. Okay. Blood and tissues will be sucked inside the barrel of the gun, which is called back splatter. Okay, due to sudden, vacuum inside barrel, whenever there is a contact shot, your gun can be damaged by blood and tissues being sucked inside the barrel. This is called back splatter. Some people ask you in Viva, back splatter. You can explain. You must be able to explain it. This bullet is rotating. So whenever there is an entry wound, you can this gun may be scraped off. This gun may be scraped off, but this bullet, some particles of bullet are lost, and metallic particles are deposited around the wound. This is called fouling. So back spatter and fouling are two things. Fouling is basically deposition of metallic particles due to scraping of bullet. Back spatter is basically sucking of the blood and tissues inside the barrel due to a vacuum creation. So let's look at the difference between entry wound and exit wound. Entry wound, exit wound. Okay. Entry wound. Entry wound will have inverted margins. Smaller size basically. Except in contact shot, entry can be larger. Contact shot, there is a stellate, so entry can be larger. Abrasion color, grease color found. Frame, smoke, gunpowder present. Cherry red skin due to carbon monoxide. Skin can be cherry red in color. Exit wound. Exit wound will have everted margin. Entry inverted margin. Exit wound everted margin. Because if something is going inside, the margins will be inverted like this, right? And if something is exiting outside, the margins will evert like this. So it's very obvious. This is smaller size, obviously. If something is entering something, if something is entering the skin, it will have a smaller size puncture. If something is exiting, it will exit like this, right? It will disperse and exit. Increase size, increase bleeding, tissue protrusion, and this collars will be absent. This collars will be absent. This here will be present, it's absent. Grease collar is diagnostic of entry wound. Grease collar is diagnostic of entry wound, and here it is non-diagnostic. Flame, smoke, gunpowder absent. Okay. If a person is leaning against the wall, so there is an resistance in exiting of bullet. Bullet can't exit easily. Bullet will spin and it will cause crushing of skin also. Crushing of skin. So here there will be abrasion around exit wound. Okay. So there is an abrasion, not an abrasion collar, just an abrasion around the exit wound. This is the exit wound. Due to crushing of skin. Why there is crushing of skin? Due to resistance in exiting the bullet. This is called shored exit. Shored exit. SHORED, shored exit. Shored exit is basically an abrasion around exit wound due to crushing. Entry and exit in skull. Let's discuss the entry and exit in skull. So whenever a bullet enters the skull, okay, whenever the bullet enters the skull, then this is the outer table, this is the inner table. Okay, so this outer table, whenever something is entering, this inner table is unsupported. You can very well see it punctures the outer table. This is unsupported, this is fragile here like this, okay, unsupported. So there will be beveling here, there will be beveling. This is unsupported, there will be beveling here, okay. So beveling basically occurs in unsupported table. So in entry wound, which is the unsupported table, inner table, whenever it is exiting, here there is a support of the outer table, but look at this, I'm explaining it again. Here this is the inner table. Inner table has the support of outer table now, but is the outer table supported? No. So beveling will be not here, it will be here, it will be beveling in the outer table. So you have to remember that entry wound, where is the beveling? Inner table beveled, inner table beveling. Exit wound, where there is beveling? Outer table. And wherever there is no beveling, a clean punched wound will be there. So in entry wound, where is the clean punched wound? Where is the clean punched wound? Which is the supported table. So clean punched wound will be seen in supported table. In supported table. Which is the supported table here? The supported table is the outer table, right? Because it is getting the support of inner table. And in exit wound, which is the supported table? Inner table. So inner table of exit and outer table of entry will have clean punched wound, okay. These are the some pictures. Exit and entry, I told you which are the things, okay. Let's discuss some medico legal aspects. Bullet recovered from victim is known as crime bullet. Identifying the bullet from markings of the bullet is called bullet fingerprinting. Bullet fingerprinting. So barrel has irregularity, it will produce secondary markings or fingerprint of the gun on the bullet. So secondary markings are produced on the gun, and primary markings are produced on the bullet, okay. So bullet will have some riflings present like this. This is the primary marking. The rifle from which it is shot will have some bullet markings like this. It is the secondary, okay. It's a fingerprint of the gun, and this is a fingerprint of the bullet or class characteristic of the bullet, okay. Done. So bullet produces some riflings, some riflings are produced by the gun on the bullet. It's a primary characteristic, and it tells about the model of the gun, it tells about which gun from which it is shot, okay. You must have noted Dr. Salunke telling that it is shot by this pistol, okay, and the CID officer hasn't fired the shot, and someone else has done it. By studying the primary markings or class characteristic on the bullet, okay. Done. Okay. Comparison microscope is basically this a complex device for determining the striations. This is a test bullet having this type of riflings or primary markings, and the crime bullet is having this types. This matching? Yes, it can match. So if they correspond, they have come from same gun. And if the markings are like this and the crime bullet like this do not correspond, different gun, the accused is free, okay. Tooth forceps are not used to handle bullet because it can produce additional striations, right? So rubber tipped forceps are used to hold the bullet, okay. Let's talk about gunshot residue. Gunshot residue. So whenever a person is firing a bullet, some gunshot residues are produced on the hand of the person, okay, the hand of the person. So GSR, I call it GSR. You have to take the swab and send for test. So GSR test. So swabs must be taken from this aspects, this part. You can just do a thing that you can just pretend to hold a gun, and whenever you are holding and how will you hold, that portion will be having maximum GSRs, right? So you have to do within 3 hours. You have to take the swab within 3 hours. If there is more than 3 hours, then it will be loss of GSR, right? GSR will be lost. You can use some test for GSR. Okay, you can do some test to prove that the person is fired. The person has fired. Okay, so one is FAST. What is FAST? Flameless atomic absorption spectrometry. Flameless atomic absorption spectrometry, that is flash. Okay, FAST. Then another is Harrison-Gilroy test. Harrison-Gilroy test for a gunshot having antimony barium lead. Okay, ABL. Harrison-Gilroy test, atomic absorption spectrometry, neutron activation analysis, dermal nitrate test, which is called paraffin test, and SEMEDEXA. SEMEDEXA, I'm not telling the full form, it's very complex. SEMEDEXA, scanning electron microscope, and EDEXA, it's a specific test. Okay, so in competitive exams, previously it was asked about the tests for what it is done, but nowadays they don't ask you, because these all tests are now kinda obsolete. Okay, so you must be remembering FAST. Okay, FAST. Then say Harrison-Gilroy. Harrison-Gilroy was for ABL, that is antimony barium lead, then atomic absorption spectrometry, then neutron activated analysis, then dermal nitrate, then SEMEDEXA. FAST, Harrison-Gilroy, atomic absorption, then neutron activation, dermal nitrate, SEMEDEXA. Okay, GSR testing 3 hours. Okay, and infrared photography is used for finding GSR in clothings. Okay, wound ballistics in shotgun. Wound ballistics in shotgun. This ranges are there. Contact, close shot less than 1 meter, near 1 to 2, intermediate 2 to 4, distant more than 4. Okay, flame 15 centimeter, smoke 30, gunpowder 60 to 90. Okay, I'm talking about shotgun now. Okay, don't confuse. It was rifle and now it is shotgun. Flame in rifle was 7 centimeter, 8 centimeter. Smoke was 15 centimeter. Gunpowder same, 60 to 90 centimeter. Wad 2 meter. Minor bruises. Okay, for a shotgun, this is a shotgun, a country-made pistol or a muzzle-loading gun. Okay, something like that, a paradox pistol, anything. This is the contact shot. Contact shot is basically tight contact. Gun kept tightly on the skin. Close shot less than 1 meter. Okay. Near shot 1 to 2 meter. Intermediate 2 to 4 meter. Distant shot more than 4 meter. Okay. From this 2 meter dispersion starts. Okay. And it causes complete dispersion. So let's discuss the characteristics of the gunshot injuries produced by this. Contact shot will have stellate margins again, like the contact shot in rifle also. All effects present inside wound. All the blackening, tattooing, singeing, all are inside the wound. Close shot will have only burning effect and blackening and tattooing effect. Burning, blackening, tattooing. Near shot, only one single wound will be there, no effects at all. Because look at this, near shot. After this, the your flame, smoke, gunpowder will be like, there will be dispersion. There will be more dispersion from 2 meter. So intermediate shot, there will be like some satellite holes will be there. Holes will be produced. Okay, few pellets will be dispersed and holes will be there only. Due to very much dispersion. More than 4, complete dispersion, distant shot. No such bullet hole. Even the puncture wound is absent. Only the smoke particles. Okay, so in a shotgun you have to know, this is an intermediate shot. You can see intermediate shot. Okay, you can observe here, only in these few holes are dispersed. These are the satellite holes, we call them satellite holes. Okay, and look at this is a distant shot, no puncture wound is absent, only lead pellets have hit the person. Okay, this is also a distant shot. In a shotgun, exit wound is normally not present, but can be present in case of contact, thin body part or tangential shot. Exit wound is normally not present, but if it is a tight contact or if it is shot on a thin body part like a palm, Okay, thin body part, then shot, then exit shot may be there, exit wound may be there. Atypical bullet injuries. Atypical bullet injuries. So I have to discuss atypical bullets, and in a shotgun they will be discussing, and it will be end of the chapter. Tandem bullet I talked to, two bullet coming around. Yawning bullet. What is yawning bullet? It's a slow speed bullet in irregular path. It's traveling like this. Yawning bullet. Tumbling bullet. Bullet is like this. It is tumbling. It's rotating like this, like this, like this, like this. Tumbling bullet. Ricochet bullet. Ricochet bullet is a deflected bullet from intermediate object. Basically, someone is there firing a gun. There is a wall here and there is a person here. So if the bullet goes to the wall and strikes the wall and rebounds and strike another person, this is called ricocheting bullet. Okay, deflected bullet. And this angle must be 10 to 30 degree. 10 to 30 degree. Only then it will rebound. If it is fired at 10 to 30 degree, it will rebound. Critical angle is 30 degree. Here there is no abrasion collar because bullet won't spin after rebound. Anything you are spinning and you are striking, after striking there is no spinning, right? So there is no spinning after rebound. No abrasion collar, no effect of smoke, flame, nothing. It may tumble. It may tumble and produce some hole like this, may produce some wound like this. This is called keyhole shaped wound. Keyhole shaped wound. Okay. This is done. Then another thing is the Kennedy phenomenon. Kennedy phenomenon is noted in John F. Kennedy assassination. Doctor treating the wound. Kennedy phenomenon noted in John F. Kennedy assassination. Doctor treating the wound, basically what he did is he after examining, okay, after examining, there's this alteration of wound. There's an alteration of wound due to which the wound was altered. The doctor must be exploring the wound, right? The doctor must be exploring the wound due to which the wound is altered, and the gunshot range, the range of the gunshot wound was not determined in the John F. Kennedy assassination case. After this case, it was called as Kennedy phenomenon. It is the iatrogenic, that is by doctor, iatrogenic alteration of gunshot wound known as Kennedy phenomenon. Okay. Then after that, Rayalaseema phenomenon. Inserting a bullet into stab injury to confuse the investigating officer. Very if the history is not consistent, if the injury, tattooing, blackening is not seen, you can suspect Rayalaseema phenomenon. Means person A was stabbed by person B. He stabbed him by a knife or something like that, and then inserted a bullet in the wound so as to confuse the investigator that it was shot. Souvenir bullet. Souvenir, you know, a slipping bullet. Retained bullet inside body. If the bullet is retained inside body, okay, then our body will have an inflammatory reaction. Inflammation means fibrosis. Fibrosis will be there, and lead may be dissolved out here. Lead may be dissolved out here and can cause lead toxicity. Lead toxicity, which is called plumbism. Plumbism. So there may be lead toxicity and fibrosis due to this slipping bullet or souvenir bullet. Atypical effects in a shotgun. This is the normal phenomenon. Shotgun skin will have this type of thing. Okay, due to dispersion more than 4 meter range. Let's say due to incomplete dispersion of lead shots, some shots may be balled together. Some shots may be together and some shots are dispersed. When this lead shot will strike the skin, this lead shot when it strikes the skin, okay, it will produce a puncture wound like this. Okay, distant shot but appears like an intermediate. Distant shot appearing like an intermediate due to balling or wielding of shots. Balling or wielding of shots. Why there will be balling? Due to excess grease, excess lubricant, excess heat. Due to heat, it may melt and ball like this. And all of these are normal. These are balled. Due to excess grease may stick. Due to excess lubricant, they may stick. And this, in this distant shot, will give an appearance of intermediate shot. This one is the billiard ball ricochet effect. Billiard ball ricochet effect. Basically, this is near shot appearing like a distant shot. So what is happening is, you must be seen billiard balls. Billiard balls. Have you seen billiard balls? So due to this lead shots, when they are fired, they may collide with themselves, and when they collide, they may rebound. They may rebound like this. So there is rebounding after collision. After collision, why there is rebounding? अपने आप से तो नहीं होगा ना. There will be rebounding due to an intermediate object. If there is an intermediate object, like a person is wearing tight leather jacket, a person is in the car, glass surface of car, leather jacket, glass surface, okay, all of this will have collision of lead shots. Due to lead shot collision, a near shot, this is a near shot, but due to collision, the lead shots are moving here and there, here and there. So there is an erratic or odd, erratic means odd dispersion of lead shots, near shot appearing like a distant shot. This is called billiard ball ricochet effect. Billiard ball ricochet effect. Crinoline shot is basically something like this. If this is a brain and this is a brain here, if there is a contact shot here directly, then the brain parenchyma may sometimes expel out. This brain may expel out. Okay, it's a very movie type of thing. So crinoline shot, common in shotgun, contact shot in which brain parenchyma is expelled out is called crinoline shot. Okay. So in atypical bullet, we discuss tandem bullet, yawning and tumbling ricochet, yawning, tumbling ricochet, Kennedy phenomenon, iatrogenic alteration, Rayleigh phenomenon, that is confusing the investigator, souvenir bullet causing fibrosis and plumbism, then distant shot appearing like near shot in case of bowling or wielding of shots, then near shot appearing like distant shot in billiard ball ricochet effect. Okay, so and crinoline shot in this brain parenchyma expelled out suddenly. So that completes our forensic ballistics in one shot. Okay, so this is the rapid revision forensic medicine rapid revision part 2 video, and it comprises of your proximal, intermediate and terminal ballistics in detail. Okay, so meet you again in another video. Till then, bye bye, take care.